irony versus sarcasm. Today, you're going to learn the difference between irony and sarcasm. So let's get started. Irony describes situations that are strange or funny because things happen in a way that seems to be the opposite of what you expect. That's the key word, the opposite. Take a look at this photo. This is ironic because the sign says, "Please do not place anything on piano." There's a cover on the piano. There's signs on the piano. Do you see the irony? There are actually 3 types of irony: situational irony, verbal irony, and dramatic irony. This photo is an example of situational irony. This shows something happening that is very different to what is expected. Situational is the opposite of what you expect, like a fire station being on fire. And believe it or not, it's actually happened a few times. The other type is dramatic irony. Have you seen the movie Frozen? Well, if you have, you know Olaf. Okay, so this isn't the real Olaf. YouTube won't let me show him or let you listen to the wonderful song he sings about loving summer. But I've posted a link in the description box below so you can listen to it. You know, and I know, that if a snowman is out in the sun, it'll melt. You know that, but Olaf doesn't. And that's an example of dramatic irony. It's when everyone knows about it except for the character. And then there's verbal irony. Let's say it's snowing. It's snowing hard. You could say, "Nice weather we're having," and that would be an example of verbal irony. Because trust me, trying to drive in weather like this is not nice at all. And a funny response would be, "That's an understatement." Let me explain. Nice is the understatement. So instead of saying nice weather, it's great weather. And if someone said, "Great weather we're having," you could say, "That's an overstatement," which is the opposite of an understatement. Let me know in the comments section below if this is confusing to you. Verbal irony can be an overstatement or an understatement. It can also be sarcasm. There are people who hate sarcasm, and then there are those who love it, like me. I love sarcasm. The thing to remember is not to overuse sarcasm, because then you appear rude. I tell my students to use sarcasm once in a while. Don't try to use it all the time. That's not using English. That's just annoying. Sarcasm is an ironic remark made less by using humor. So for example, if someone is wearing too much perfume or too much cologne, you could say, "Nice cologne. How long did you marinate in it?" Do you see how that could be rude or a mean thing to say to someone? But if it's someone you know, you could say that. It's all about the tone. Listen. "Nice cologne. How long did you marinate in it?" See, that doesn't sound very nice. You have to smile and use a happier voice to let the person know you're joking with them, like this. "Nice cologne. How long did you marinate in it?" See, that sounds a little better, doesn't it? You're still telling them the truth about how much cologne they're wearing, but it's in a sarcastic way. Sarcasm can be about you. For example, if someone made a comment about you being cheap or not having enough money, you could say, "I work 40 hours a week to be this poor." And that's funny. Another one that's funny is when someone is yelling at something or someone, not you. You could say, "Is it time for your medication or mine?" I used this once when a friend of mine was yelling at the car ahead of them. It broke the tension and we laughed. I think that's how sarcasm should be used. It releases stress and usually makes the other person laugh. Well, usually, unless the person hates sarcasm. Once you know that they hate sarcasm, then never use it on them again. And if you try to use sarcasm and someone seems offended by it, don't explain that it's sarcasm. Just smile and say, "I'm just kidding," or "just kidding." I think sarcasm is difficult for a lot of non-native speakers. When I lived in China, no one seemed to get it. For example, when one of my students told me for the millionth time they didn't do their homework, I said, "Oh, fantastic! You've reached my expectations." The student was so confused as to why I was happy they hadn't finished their homework, but I was being sarcastic. Here are the different types of sarcasm. Self-deprecating. That's a good vocabulary word. That's when you try to make fun of yourself. Like in the example, "I work 40 hours a week to be this poor." Then there's deadpan. Deadpan is sarcasm that's given in a serious tone. And sometimes it's difficult to pick up on or to get. As in the example, "Nice cologne, how long did you marinate in it?" Someone might be confused whether you're being serious or if you're just joking. So that can be a little bit difficult. Another one is brooding. Brooding sarcasm is saying the opposite of what you mean in an irritated tone, like I used with my student. "Oh, fantastic! You've reached my expectations." That's an example of brooding. Then there's juvenile. Juvenile is an obnoxious statement that might come across as annoying, but it can be funny depending on the situation. Like in the example, "Is it time for your medication or mine?" Some people will get sarcasm and some won't. Some people will hate sarcasm and some won't. And if you want to use sarcasm once in a while and you would like some examples, you could try these. When someone tells you something you already know, say, "No shit, Sherlock." When you want to say you really hate something, you can say, "I'm not saying that I hate that. What I am saying is that it's literally the Monday of my life." You see, most people hate Mondays. If someone else doesn't like something you're wearing and tells you, you can say, "It's okay if you don't like it. Not everyone has good taste." When someone won't shut up about something, you can say, "Silence is golden. Duct tape is silver." If someone says they hate sarcasm, you can say, "Sarcasm is the body's natural defense against stupidity." If you learned something today, please hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to learn more sarcastic things to say, I've posted a link for you in the description box below. And I'm not being sarcastic. Just be careful who you say these things to. Words can be powerful. I recommend watching this video on slang. There's a lot to learn there as well. Thanks for watching, my students, and please keep practicing. Bye.